Fabio. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Great speech as usual, a lot of information. Thank you for everyone and Il Nodo di Gordio inviting me and my ambassador in Rome again. So this is my second time after 2 years and a lot of COVID story. Practically for all of us, we are here again. So there are some faces here that I know who are going to remember my not so diplomatic speech of 2 years ago when I left all my papers basically after 2 minutes of starting to read them, and then started to give my impressions and opinion about especially Mediterranean at the time, and the nature of the naturalness of the friendly nature of the Turkey and Italy relationship and why we need each other. It was the theme of 2 years ago. The conditions were very different, if you remember, especially between our two countries. The media and the look was very different. And now we are at a very different stage, and one more time, everyone is talking about Turkey, especially international relations. And your question, which I would like to reply partially now, because I don't want to forget, once I start, well, why we are acting. Actually, there is some hidden secret, like a truth in your question, which you said that why we are acting as a mediator ourselves, despite the fact that we are not obligated. If we would be obligated, we wouldn't act as a mediator. As anyone who knows Turkey, that we wouldn't accept any kind of obligatory role in such a difficult, such a controversial situation. I think you got to be voluntary. You have to have something in your hand which tells a meaningful story to both sides, so that when they look at you, instead of trying to chop your head off, they would just stop for a minute and listen to you. So in the case of Ukraine and Russia, we are witnessing a situation since a few months that they both have a case with Turkey and that they have reasons to listen to us. So basically why I think we just noticed that these two countries are great allies in many senses, trade and economy, and lots of coming and going, tourism, services. I mean, it's innumerable cooperation with both of them since multiple years. So we maybe thought that maybe there is not another country which can just play this role. So if I don't, at the end, they are going to blame me that we didn't even dare. So let's try and fail rather than not try at all. I think we did that. We just spot a chance there. I'm very happy that this kind of working. But we didn't have we don't have the final results yet, but a progress is a progress. And we made multiple progresses, and Mr. Ambassador really outlined very well what we did in different phases, like political, military, help to Ukraine, open acceptance, open condemnation of Russia's acts, closing the straits under the Montreux Agreement, treaty, etc., etc. The drones, lots of popular and not so popular details of this. Our policy looks like focused on this particular conflict because it has the chance to ruin everything that we value and we cherish in international relations in our region, first of all, and second to everywhere else. So then if I can go back to my preparation, I don't have a single paper. I have multiple papers, so I decided to give you a list of facts which I think is going to be interesting for everyone listening. That some of them you might have an idea, some of them you won't. Without no comments, I'm going to give these some numerical, some other facts, mostly between our two countries and Turkey's role in international politics, which will give you the overall idea that why Turkey is important to any country first, and why Turkey is important to Italy second. And I don't think that I need to, put the dots together myself. Everyone can do that really after having the facts. And after that point, as you are expecting from me, and since I have a senior diplomat here, senior ambassador who gave us all the the framework, really, all the picture in between two countries and Turkey's role in Mediterranean and in this region and in overall world politics, I would like to give you once again my impressions about where we stand, especially on Turkey-Italy relationship, and is it going to a better place, or we are still missing something. So first the facts then. Lots of them, some of them have been said by Mr. Ambassador, so I'm going to skip them. So we share many major structures with Italy. Like we are both members of NATO, we have literally hundreds of years old common history and culture in the Mediterranean. I called in my last speech 2 years ago that we are the two major Mediterranean cultures and countries. Since we are here all ourselves and no one is listening to us, according to me, my lack of technology. So I assume that there is no one listening to us, so I'm going to say it again, that Turkey and Italy are the major countries of Mediterranean, and which we seem to forget all the time, which is the most important thing, because Mediterranean is the core, is the center. It is not a secondary item. It is not a secondary unit in our history. It is the place that we were born, and we act and we succeed or we fail. So that is very important, that our history is common. Our culture has a lot of commonality, especially for me. After 1 week in Sicily, the Aeolian island of Lipari, now I believe that, yes, we have a lot of things in common. And it was kind of, I was there for honeymoon. Basically, you took me out my honeymoon, and I had to cut it one day, short, and come back here. And now I'm full of everything Sicilian and Mediterranean, and I cannot believe that we are this close. Everyone was telling me that we are close, you should see the south, and so on. I was never to the south of Rome till this day. But finally I am at the very heart of South Italy, and I see that, really, just it could be anywhere, somewhere in Turkey, just speaking for some reason a weird Italian and eating similar but different food. So lots of commonalities. So, and in these last 2 years, especially after the episode of Libya, we started to negotiate and we started to talk more at the level of prime ministers, presidents, foreign ministers. We had numerous high-level contacts that we couldn't have in the last few years previously. I don't want to put blame on anything or anyone, but there was a lack of meaningful dialogue when I came to job in Milan in mid 2018. It was right after the elections in Italy, and there was a new government, and after that there were a lot of regional developments, and then the media in Italy was pretty much against Turkey, and it was affecting the public opinion a lot. We had lots of problems, and throughout 2018 and 19, and things started to change dramatically after a visit by Conte to Turkey, I think January 2019, or no, 2020. Yeah, it was the end of 2019, beginning of 2020 only, which was cut a bit short because of COVID, but COVID did not really make impossible the dialogue. It just changed the nature of it, and the dialogue continued, and maybe there was a time for reflection in both sides. So when it came to 2021, we have seen numerous contacts. practically all the Turkish government members, all ministers visited Italy in 2021. I was with most of them. And then it was the G20 presidency of Italy, which was also a good forum for us to refresh our vision on major subjects. And then started all of a sudden, or not, the Ukrainian conflict. Then we decided to realize the third intergovernmental summit after, I think, 10 years of interval. Yeah. For 10 years, we always postponed it. Very typical Mediterranean approach, because we thought that I can do it next year. Why? If I can do something next year, why I'm doing it this year? It's very typical of us. But all of a sudden, we started thinking that I have to do it right now. And the demand this time, the desire came from Italy, which is good, because I have to say that Italy sometimes comes close to us and sometimes falls a little bit cold. So we have to be, always playing to, trying to seduce Italy as a, you are the friend, we are the friend. But sometimes you are just distracted with lots of things going on. Like Libya was a distraction for Italy, in my opinion. It just blurred the minds of many people, especially in the media. But there is a group of people, their minds are never getting blurred. Only the politicians and diplomats, we are getting blurred, and they are the businessmen. The businessmen, they never lost the sight. They have the vision. And in 2020, Italy was the #1 country to invest in Turkey, first time in the history, with almost $1 billion in that single year. And now, in the last 5 years, Italy invested close to $5 billion to Turkey. More than 1,500 Italian companies are now installed in Turkey. And there is almost half of them, 600, 700 Turkish companies installed. They have their bases or factories, workshops in Italy. So it just increases almost in a geometrical way. And then another historical record came right after, in 2021, we reached to $23 billion of trade volume, literally 50-50. No one was like selling more to each other. When you read the items, they are practically the same. I mean, it's like machine parts, automotive parts, and chemical industry products, textile, and so to both. So we sell and buy exactly the same category of things, but not the exactly same things. This shows how contributing and how complementary our industries are. So in this sense, I see that the businessmen, like in the past, like in the times of the Venetians or the Genoese, on Ottomans, that they always know how to continue the trade, how to make business, how to create contact, how to develop meaningful ties, and how to benefit, mutually. But the politicians and diplomats and governments and administrations, we are getting distracted very easily. Like something is just telling us another story, and we are reading just one editorial, and it changes our mind all of a sudden. Why? Because the writer was so successful, and then we liked his other work. Things like that. So what I want to say is Italy and Turkey finally got much closer in these last 2 years. It was kind of unexpected for me. It seemed at a point that we are losing many things. We are losing jobs. We are losing this and that, and our economies are going very bad, and conflicts are not stopping. Libya and now Ukraine. For an outsider, the look is kind of gloomy. But not so much when you go into detail, because every single one of them, we are cooperating. So there is no difference in the desire of young Turkish people to come to Italy and have their graduate or postgraduate studies, and now it's almost 4,000 Turkish students in the university level. It's ridiculously high number. Now, in the last 1 year, I finally installed an education attaché from Turkish Education Ministry in my consulate, responsible for all Italy, first time in the history. And that particular attaché, the guy cannot stop. Every day he's going to 2-3 places. So what I want to say finally is that if we follow the good example of young people, the students, and the businessmen, and the investors, I think we can just reach much better and much meaningful results in our governmental level, at a governmental level, so that our policies in the Eastern Mediterranean and overall in Europe and Eurasia can match each other better, and we can finally start benefiting from this. I hope the last Intergovernmental Summit and this particularly colorful and particularly fruitful times that we are witnessing right now is not an exception, but it's the start of a new era, because now there will be a government change, it looks like, in Italy. And actually, I'm a little bit worried that I hope that this is not going to take us back one more time. And I hope we only proceed and we further our now excellent relations. Thank you very much listening to me. I can answer questions later on. Thank you much. Thank you.